The NBA playoffs are around 10 days away, and I am very excited for the NBA playoffs this season because the East is so stacked. Like, anybody of those top 4 teams can win an NBA championship, and even the Brooklyn Nets if they make the playoffs. And the West, like, they got some exciting teams like the Grizzlies, the Mavericks, the Warriors, of course, and of course the Suns, who are definitely the favorites, and they're having one of the greatest regular seasons of all time. So with the playoffs right in the corner, I wanted to look at the 5 burning questions we have going into the 2022 NBA playoffs. Coming in at number 5 is Ben Simmons. And this, I put it at number 5 because, like, this is way too obvious and everybody knows this. And Ben Simmons is like the biggest mystery this season. Like, what is he doing? Like, does he actually have a serious injury, or is he just not playing because he doesn't feel like it? He's just too scared of Philadelphia fans if he plays, or like something like that. Like, Ben Simmons, we know he's a talented player. As much as people like to hate on him, he's a great defender. He can definitely facilitate. Like, he can definitely contribute to a good winning team like the Brooklyn Nets, and they can really use his services right now. But he's ruled out for the regular season and the play-in tournament because of an unknown reason. So of course Ben Simmons is a big mystery, and even if the Brooklyn Nets make the playoffs, I don't know if Ben Simmons is going to be playing at like 100%. I don't know if he's going to be the old Ben Simmons that we saw like 2 years ago when he was an all-star caliber player. And even last year he was an all-star caliber player, but he just sucked in the playoffs. Like, as much as people like to hate on him, he's still a good player. He can still be a third option on a championship team, in my opinion. So yeah, Ben Simmons is a big mystery. Coming in at number 4 is the Miami Heat. And Miami Heat is a very confusing team. Like, they are a great team. They have good depth. Like, they have one of the best, like, bench depth in the league, in my opinion. They have Tyler Hero, of course, as a 6 man, which is incredible. Like, I feel like he can be a 25-point scorer if he was starting. Like, he is that good of a scorer. He's still like 21. And he deserves to start, but I guess Miami likes to have him off the bench so he can, like, produce really well off the bench. Like, I guess it's working out. They're the number 1 seed, and they're a great team. They even have Victor Oladipo, Duncan Robinson, PJ Tucker. They have a great center, backup center, in Dwayne Dedmon. They, of course, have Jimmy Butler, Kyle Lowry, Bam Adebayo. Like, that is a great team. Like, but they seem to be inconsistent, and their locker room situation doesn't seem to be good with Udonis Haslem and Jimmy Butler and, Eric Spoelstra getting into it. Like, we don't know how the Heat's gonna be in the playoffs. Like, in the regular season they're good, but they had some moments where they just looked like they fell apart. Like, I don't know, they have to be consistent. I don't know if they're gonna be that consistent in the playoffs, but if they want to win an NBA championship, they have to be consistent like they were 2 years ago when they went on that magical run in the bubble. And they made it all the way to the finals before losing to LeBron. So if the Miami Heat can play consistently like they did 2 years ago, and they even have a better roster now. Tyler Hero is way better. They have Kyle Lowry. They added Victor Oladipo. And if the Miami Heat can play as a team like they did 2 years ago, they can be a real championship threat. But we don't know yet. So that's why Miami Heat are a mystery. Coming in at number 3 is the Denver Nuggets and their injury situation. Like, we all know Jamal Murray is a great player, especially in the playoffs. He is a great playoff performer, and like, if he can play like he did in the bubble this season, then I'm sure the Denver Nuggets are going to be a championship threat, especially with Nikola Jokic being most likely a 2-time MVP. Like, Nikola Jokic, to me, is a very, like, weird player, but he gets the job done. He gets his triple doubles. He gets his 40-point games. And Nikola Jokic makes the whole team better. And with Jamal Murray back in his bubble form, or even close to that, like even the regular season Jamal Murray last year, before he got hurt. And if they can get Michael Porter Jr. back and his like 20-point per game scoring form, then the Denver Nuggets are going to be just fine, and they are most likely going to get out the first round, especially if they play someone like Utah Jazz or the Dallas Mavericks. But if they face the Warriors, I don't see them getting out the first round. And that brings us to our next topic, which is the Golden State Warriors and Steph Curry. The reason why this is a mystery, and it wouldn't have been 2 months ago when the Warriors were just fantastic. They were on a roll. They looked like they were in contention for the number 1 seed, but now the Phoenix Suns have run away with it, and they're even in 3rd place now, and they're in danger of losing their spot to the Mavericks or the Jazz. And the Warriors, to me, are one of the best teams in the league. Like, we all know that. Their roster is fantastic. They have great depth, but Steph Curry seemed to be struggling even before he got injured. And I don't know if the Warriors will be able to win a championship if Steph Curry is struggling like that. Like, they need Klay Thompson to step up and be the prime Klay Thompson that he was, and they need Curry at his usual Curry form, dropping 30 points per game if they want to win a championship. But if they can't, not all hope is lost. Like, they still have Jordan Poole, who's one of the best. I mean, he's one of the, not best, but one of the most underrated players in the league. Like, Jordan Poole can give you 30 points per game any night. Like, and they also have great depth, like Jonathan Kuminga. He stepped up lately, and Gary Payton Jr., who's a good defensive guy, Kevon Looney, who's a fine center, and of course the all-star game starter Andrew Wiggins. That is very crazy to say, by the way. Like, he shouldn't have been a starter, not an all-star starter. Like, he deserved to be a reserve, but there's no way an 18 point per game scorer, even with great efficiency, like, there's no way an 18 point per game scorer should have been an all-star starter. And Andrew Wiggins had been struggling after that. So if Andrew Wiggins can play like he did before the all-star break and form kind of a big three with Klay Thompson and Steph Curry, the Warriors are one of the biggest championship threats this season, and they are not that far off from the Phoenix Suns. But if they can't do that, if Andrew Wiggins keeps struggling, and if Steph Curry comes back and is like not that good, and if Klay Thompson just continues to be, I mean, he's stepped up lately, I'll give him that. Klay Thompson has been much better lately. He's been dropping 30 plus points. But if Klay Thompson struggles like he did some weeks ago, the Warriors are not going to win the championship. Coming in at number 1 is the Memphis Grizzlies. And this might be a surprise to some people, but to me, the Memphis Grizzlies are a very confusing team. Like, they are a great team. They have a good roster, but not that good to where they should be winning 60 plus games. Like, I understand John Morant is fantastic, but he's been out for the past month. And I know they have good depth and all, but the talent level that they have on their roster shouldn't be winning all these games. Like, I understand Jaren Jackson Jr. is a good player, and Desmond Bane has stepped up. He's fantastic. Even DeAnthony Melton, he's been good. Tyus Jones has been surprisingly good. And I know those guys have been playing well, but I don't know if they can do this in the playoffs against some elite teams. And I don't even know the Memphis Grizzlies are that good to where they're going to get out the first round in a comfortable manner. Like, if they face someone like the Timberwolves or the Nuggets, they're going to have some problems. The Memphis Grizzlies are not that good of a team on paper, but they know how to play as a team, and they know the bench guys know how to step up when the main guy is missing, like John Morant. So if the Memphis Grizzlies get the MVP candidate John Morant back in the playoffs, I'm sure they are going to be just fine and they can contend for a championship. But if the John Morant isn't that good and he's not the same player that he was before he got injured, and even the bench players and the pieces around John Morant can't step up like they have been doing the past month, the Memphis Grizzlies are not going to be championship contenders, and they might even be a first or a second round exit. So that is it, guys. Hope y'all enjoyed the video. This is my video on the top 5 biggest mysteries going into the NBA playoffs. And if you want more videos like this, please subscribe, please hit the like button, please comment, and I'll see you guys later. Peace.